Welcome, everybody. Today I'm going to go over a little bit more about level one communities and incubator, really why I started it, what it means, what I'm hoping it can do and accomplish for us as a whole, as a society, as a culture, as people. So my idea is to really start from the individual to the local community and go from there. I'll go ahead and start sharing my screen so you guys can see the website, see what I'm talking about a little bit. And yeah, take it from there. Let's see, my computer just locked up on me. Okay, here we go. All right, so this is our website, Level One Communities and Incubator. If you've been to it, no surprises here. I just want to point out some obvious things to me. We focus on creatives, in other words, people with ideas, concepts, or services, products, things that are really enhancing society in some meaningful way. We focus on specific sectors, I guess you could say, which I'll mention here in a moment. But starting out, this is what our focus is. We focus on the individual. We're consciousness centered. This means that we want to align with people that are focused and prioritize their inner work, their consciousness development work, the knowing that there is more to reality than just the physical body or the things you own or the car you drive, that kind of stuff. There's an actual essence to us as humans that transcends the physical body, that interconnects us with each other, with other places, with higher realms or realities. And what I mean with that is speak to anybody that's had a near-death experience or anybody that practices out-of-body experiences. That's what I'm talking about, people that can access higher realms. So that's why we want to tap into every aspect of being a human, and that's why I point that out there. And then we go into the idea of one planet where everybody comes in to share a gift, and our incubator is a place that's not just an incubator, but it's a community where the people that start out with us, at least that's the initial vision, have everything available to them. They have a place to live. They have no bills. The food's included because a lot of our projects are also centered and focused around food productivity, agricultural concepts for higher efficiency and better, cleaner use, for example, enclosed agricultural systems, things of that nature. So all of it, this is our concept. You come in as a founder to the community, you can enjoy the fruits of being a member of the community. And these are some of the areas we're focusing on. I'm based out of San Diego, and we're focusing on energy, we're focusing on agriculture, and there's one here that's not mentioned, and it's really called the creative arts. So writing, singing, that's something else that's really, the arts in general is another area of focus. And then fourthly, sustainable construction. That's also one that isn't listed here that's a focus for us right now. And so, yeah, we're looking for, or I should say, I'm looking for people that are committed and interested in their contribution to not only themselves, but their community as a creative or a founder. And if your focus is in any of the areas I've mentioned, you can just click on the link here to join or to apply to join the incubator. There's a link here for more information. And so, what does this ultimately mean? And that's really the second part of this post I wanted to talk about. And it truly means setting up a network of level one communities and incubator that extend beyond one place or one rigid model. My vision for this is ultimately for it to become decentralized, meaning it's run via a collective. And you could say, well, hard decisions made. Well, think of an example being the swarm artificial intelligence model, where everybody inputs their choice, and then this algorithm utilizing the collective patterns on past decisions and on the choice at hand is able to optimize a decision based on everybody's input. And so there's this collective sense of no centralized leadership. It's really the group that's making the decisions. There would be a group of 4 to 16 um, council leaders that rotate in responsibilities that are also elected via this collective group. That would play a role based on how decisions are potentially funneled from people that, let's say, a community member doesn't want to make or isn't informed enough to make a vote on something. Well, they can defer that choice or their choice to one of these. I'm calling them council members. That's just the best terminology I've got. So, not to get off topic too much on that, I wanted to just go from there to this concept of the network state and how that is relevant to this idea of level one, focusing on the consciousness-centered founder creative types. So the network state is essentially a highly aligned online community with a capacity for collective action that crowdfunds territory around the world and eventually gains diplomatic recognition from pre-existing states. And so imagine that. Imagine being part of initially an online group of folks that are highly aligned with specifically one value, right? That brings them together. For example, in our case, being consciousness centered, creative founder type people. So the whole idea, and this was developed by Balaji, who is a person from the Bay Area, and there's a lot of high tech VC types that are in this sort of ecosystem surrounding the concept of network state. And I think it's great. I think they're being able to bring a sense of sovereignty to the people. They're essentially there, they're you could say crowdfunding the idea of the nation state, right? So, hey, these countries really kind of suck at governing their people. They've been corrupted. Let's crowdfund something that's kind of from that tech perspective. Let's do a startup society is another word used, and I love their definition of it, and evolve from a startup society into a network state. And so that's the next part here that I wanted to really point out what a startup society is and how they define it. And let's see if I've got it here. So the network state grows out of a startup society concept, and this is premised on a moral innovation. And so that's, whatever it might mean for somebody. Like here are the examples that say sugar is bad or 24/7 internet is bad, right? So you have people that coalesce around these mission statements, ours being, of course, consciousness centered. And so the analysis and research that has been put into this work for the network state has determined that having a moral basis for coming together historically has proven to be effective for bringing people and making a lasting community that goes from virtual to actual. And so I really like that definition of it starting being a startup society. And that's my hope and vision for level one communities and Incubator, that we grow from a startup society into something real. And so, the next part I wanted to focus on here is, well, how does that become real? How does something like a startup society become something more? And that brings me to the conversation of economics or tokenomics. And so when you're able to apply this concept of tokenomics, where you set up financial and social incentives, right, for a new crypto economic community in a user and organized aligned way, then you're able to develop and disseminate currency that's used locally and the value derived within that in an aligned manner within and among its members. So they touch on that here. So when you go from the startup society and how this sort of evolves from something small to something bigger, it really talks about that here or at some point in the book. And again, this is completely available to anyone. Just go to their URL, thenetworkstate.com, and you can have access to the book. I actually have it in my Kindle reader, but yeah, some great stuff in here. So, in developing level one communities, obviously we have a blog, and this blog is used to is an avenue for me to be able to drill down and focus on these different kinds of topics and deliver to you some information that I find meaningful and insightful in these different areas of conversation where we focus, whether it's energy, agriculture, the arts, construction, sustainable construction. And going along the lines of the network state, I did write a post recently to do with the sovereign individual. I also wrote a post about the level one coin. And so, you know, please, by all means, go into the blog, check these posts out. This isn't really the time and place for me to go into that here, but I did want to introduce it to you because as we grow and develop as a community, these become meaningful conversations. How is it governed, and what are the roles and responsibilities of the members? So I've got a white paper that I've been working on for more than a year, and it's just been sitting on the back burner as other things have kind of taken priority, but I do intend on completing that soon. In the meantime, if you're interested in and would like to contribute some thoughts on the level one coin concept, I do have a white paper that's outlined and completed on this post. So if you were to go to this post, you can access the white paper for this whole concept and how that would work. So that said, look forward to your feedback. Thanks again for being a subscriber, and we'll talk soon.